All right, well, I'm going to get started. Welcome, I'm Deborah Hooper with the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce. It's a big day. Early voting has begun. As I drove in this morning, I noticed a line that had already formed at the old courthouse. And so I got excited that people are already waiting to cast their votes, and I know that we're going to have a very strong turnout for early voting, for absentee voting, and also on our general election day. So I think that's fantastic, and I encourage everyone to vote, to take that privilege, take advantage of it. And so I am excited about volunteering tomorrow. Cecilia and Reverend Frank Thomas are going to present an opportunity, I'm sure, for all of us to get more engaged in volunteering during this period. And so I'm excited about that too. This is our October Coffee and Conversation, and we appreciate all of you being with us. Today is a big day for the Chamber as well. Brent Christensen and some of our colleagues at the Chamber are already at the Carolina Theater. While we are not at the Carolina Theater as our host location for Coffee and Conversation, please know that we continue to support the Carolina Theater and are in fact doing the filming of our keynote speaker for our new Impact Leadership Conference, as well as the filming of all of our speakers. And so I know Tracy Myers is going to share more information about how everyone can be a part of our Impact Leadership Conference, and we encourage you to take advantage of this leadership development opportunity. It's going to be fantastic. We also love our catering sponsor, Deep Roots Market. And while we're not able to, as I said, be in person, let's all know that we can support Deep Roots and take advantage of that amazing market in downtown Greensboro. We also are going to have a digital drawing today. So if you want to text PERK, PERK, to 55678 and fill out the registration. We're going to put some instructions in the chat. We've got a prize today, a $25 gift card from Deep Roots. So if you would like to be part of that drawing, we encourage you to text PERK, P-E-R-K, to 55678 and fill out the registration. I also want to thank our Circle of Champions. These are supporters of the Chamber's programming throughout the year. At the platinum level, we have a Legacy Federal Credit Union, Cone Health, Lincoln Financial Group, True Liant Federal Credit Union, and VF Corporation. At the gold level, Novant Health, silver level, Global Brands Group, Kelly Office Solutions, Ralph Lauren, Staunton Capital, Wake Forest Baptist Health. So we thank all of them for supporting our programs. As I said, I'm excited about today's topic. The Chamber is passionate about education. And when we think about education, we think about how it impacts the quality of life for everyone. And it also impacts our industry, our businesses in our community, their ability to grow, to have the talent and workforce they need to grow. And so having a strong public school system is key to having quality education in our community. And so at this time, I'd like to introduce Cecelia Thompson and Reverend Frank Thomas, who are going to share information with us today about the S.M.A.R.T initiative. They are the co-chairs of Vote S.M.A.R.T. And Cecilia is our executive director of Action Greensboro, and Reverend Frank Thomas is the pastor and teacher at Mount Zion Baptist Church in High Point. So I am going to turn it over to them, and I thank them for being with us.
Well, thank you, Deborah, for having us. Frank and I are really excited to be here this morning on behalf of the S.M.A.R.T School Bond Campaign. So I'm going to quickly share my screen so we can get going. All right. Well, I'm going to hand it over to Frank to kick us off.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you again, Deborah, for having us this morning. Again, I'm Frank Thomas. I serve as the pastor of Mount Zion Baptist Church in High Point, and I'm also the chair of the Chamber Advisory Board here in High Point. So I thank you all for allowing me to infiltrate your meeting this morning. So Cecilia and I are the co-chairs of the Vote S.M.A.R.T campaign, and this is a very important initiative. As we know, our schools are in beyond dire need of upgrading. So the county commissioners, many of you know, voted to put a $300 million bond on the ballot for November. Next, Cecilia. And because the average age of our schools is 54 years old, and our schools are not adequate to meet the needs of a high quality education for our children. The county commissioners and the school district put in place or charged a independent study of our schools. Every school in the district was graded, and they came up with a master facilities plan that caps or comes in to the tune of about $2 billion. And with that $2 billion price tag, every school in our district will be touched in some way. So we came up with this campaign, Vote S.M.A.R.T, and S.M.A.R.T stands for safe, modern, accessible, renovated, tech-ready schools. And these smart schools will be equipped to meet the needs of our children and our teachers for the next 50 to 100 years. So I'll go just over a little bit about each letter in the acronym. S is for safe. Our Guilford County schools don't have adequate safe and security measures in order to lock doors and campus-wide intercom systems and all kinds of things like that to help in the need or if there was an emergency. So the facilities plan calls for every school to be upgraded for safety and security. Next. Then there's modern. The plan addresses the need to make all schools more efficient and modern. More than 20 schools in the worst condition will actually be torn down and rebuilt in place. So additionally, there's a plan and need for 10 new schools or expansions in our district for schools and districts or areas that are overcrowded. Buildings across the district will be made energy efficient with heating and air quality and all those kinds of things. Then there's accessible. We've learned the hard way that our schools don't have the technology and the infrastructure for STEM, arts, and early middle college initiatives. So there's a plan to address the overcrowding and actually upgrade some of the facilities for some of our, a friend of mine says not disabled children, but differently abled children. So those schools will be made accessible for children. Then renovated. Those schools that don't necessarily need touching will get some work, but a lot of our schools just need to be upgraded. 15 of them will be upgraded and modernized or expand and to accommodate the growth of our student population and the new. Next one is technology, the new technology needs. And as we've learned the hard way since March, many of our schools are not tech ready. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the bandwidth. They don't have the internet capability. So even if our students were in class, Cecilia, she'll tell you about a school she visited. They don't even have enough plugs in the library to plug up all the computers if they had them. So they'll be upgraded with bandwidth and wireless connection. And the bond will help provide new devices for students both in the classroom and virtual learning. And unfortunately, our students don't know this, but I think gone are the days of snow days because we've learned that we can learn virtually. So even if it's snowing and they can't get to school, there'll be technology for our students to be able to get on the computer and do their work, even if it's from home. I'm going to turn it over to Cecilia to talk some more about our strategy for the campaign.
Sure. So our ask today, of course, to you is to vote yes for the school bond. Frank just laid out the letters of SMART. We all know that our schools need to be safe, modern, accessible, and renovated and tech ready. And so we're asking you, if you don't know, early voting is happening right now. You can go to the polls. Any of the 25 polls in Guilford County are open today, and I'm getting text messages all morning about how busy they are. So be prepared, maybe bring a bag with a chair in it if you are interested in sitting in a line today, and we hope that you will. So these are our main 4 talking points. If someone asks you a question about why should I vote yes for the school bonds? Of course, we want them to be smart schools. We know that school buildings across Guilford County are falling apart and we can no longer delay fixing them. Some people have said, well, this school isn't that old. Well, if you don't renovate, if you don't repair things for 50 years, things add up and things get more costly. So we can no longer delay making these repairs for our schools. As Frank mentioned, we have a comprehensive master plan. That master plan was put together and adopted by both the county commission and the school system. And this includes every school in the district. And what this bond does is jumpstart the facilities master plan. The $300 million on the ballot jumpstarts the plan that is about $2 billion. And if we don't jumpstart it now, we're going to be even more delayed. So as Frank mentioned, the 2 of us both participated last week in the Guilford Education Alliance Principal for a Day. If you've not done this program before, I highly recommend doing it. It's an annual event that puts community and business leaders across the area matched up with a principal. And so last Friday, I had the opportunity of visiting Faust Elementary. Faust is a neighborhood elementary school. It's a Title I school with a lot of challenges on their hands. And one of the biggest challenges they have is their facility. And so Mr. Dixon, their principal, gave me a tour of the building, and it was really eye-opening. Walls literally move in this building. You can push a wall and it will move. Doors do not lock in this building. We need safe schools, and part of that is the ability to shut down the school in the terrible case that something might happen. Their HVAC system is not working, and so students are either cold in the winter or they're hot in the summer, which are terrible learning environments, and they also don't have the air filtration we need for times like right now in a pandemic. So ultimately, these spaces aren't equipped for 21st century learning. They're not flexible spaces. There's a quote on the screen from one of the teachers here on the left, and she shared with me what Frank said. There's not enough plugs in the library in order to charge these devices, and there's a barrier in the middle, and so when you make a projection, half the students can't see it. On the right-hand side, you'll see a photo of a storage closet. About 40% of students, they have about 360 students at Faust. About 40% of those are English as a second language students. And this is actually used both as a classroom and a storage closet because there's not enough flexible learning spaces for students. And so what I took away from the day is, one, is we have to move forward with this bond. But also we need to support our principals and our teachers. They are some of the most resilient and hardworking people in this area. And no other profession would put up with these kinds of work environments. We wouldn't take a job at a place like this, yet our principals and our teachers show up every day for the students and for their families to make sure that they have bright futures. And I think we owe it to them to really think about how we can best move forward. And right now, the best thing that we can do is to vote yes. Frank, do you want to share about your experience?
Sure. I was at Penn Griffin School of the Arts. It's actually a neighbor school right next door to our church. And we've partnered with them for some after school programming and things, but Mr. Stimson is the new principal. He's been there about 2 years. So I wanted to visit with him, and he showed me a space in the school. You can kind of see those pictures on the right. He was pointing to a wall that actually had been repaired and painted earlier this year. And it's already, you can see the water damage because in this space, they have found out there's actually a pipe behind the wall that needs replacing, not repairing, a pipe that needs replacing. So anytime it rains, that pipe is not condensation from the pipe, but it's actually water coming through the pipe, and it soaks into the plaster and the masonry work of. So he has to address this issue every year with his maintenance budget. And if they could just get this space repaired, but it would take actually ripping the wall out, replacing the pipe, and then putting in new either drywall or plaster. But as you can see, his issue here is he has to address this every year. And it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. We also went into the library, and as soon as we walked in, you could smell the mildew smell in the carpet because of the poor ventilation and air quality in the school. These are just two examples of schools in our district where Cecilia and I visited, but there are unfortunately so many stories just like it. Cecilia?
Yeah, so there's a question from the chat function around the overall need of $2 billion. The MGT Consulting Group, which was the consulting agency that put together the facilities master plan, I think the number was really around 1.6 million. However, we really believe that the longer we delay this work, the more the construction costs are going to go up. And so if the need is 1.6 and we don't have another bond on the ballot in another X amount of years, the construction costs are going to rise. And so we're estimating the total need is around 2 billion. And of course, what we have an opportunity to pass is the 300. In terms of the precedents, if you go onto our website, which is smartschoolbonds.com or smartschoolbond.com, you can access the facilities master plan, and then you'll see all of the schools listed, and they're listed by need. And so you'll see Faust is in that list close to the top because that is one of the schools that is scheduled to be torn down and rebuilt. So you'll be able to see the order within the facilities master plan on the website. So what's our campaign strategy? As I mentioned, our website is smartschoolbond.com. We are doing all sorts of things. We held a rally in September. We're doing a lot of outreach, both postcards that we're handing out. We're mailing about 60,000 postcards that they should be dropping in your mailbox maybe today. We would love for you to put a yard sign in your yard or in front of your business, and you can pick those up at Action Greensboro's office or the Chamber in High Point. If you don't see us on social media, you might not be looking because we have a lot of ads on social media and paid ads on our social media, WFMY, WGHP, also Triad City Beat, other publications. There are op-eds that are going into print publications, hosting digital events. On the 21st, Action Greensboro is hosting our Live for 45 series, and it'll be a conversation with young teachers that are working in public schools and sharing their experiences about the challenges that they're facing. We are doing text messaging. Also, if you don't get about 6 text messages a day for some sort of campaign, I'd be surprised. And of course, we are working the polls. We've got volunteers across the polling sites this today and moving into Election Day, and we'd love for you to be a part of that. We're really excited about the endorsements that we have. We have over 50 endorsements. It's a cross-section of businesses and organizations, clubs, fraternities that have all shown their support by endorsing the bond. We want to thank the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce for their endorsement. It's in the orange highlighted on this list. If you would like to endorse the bond, your business or yourself, we would love to add you to this list. And if you go to our website, you can hit volunteer, and on that form, you can add your name as an endorser to the campaign. So here's the early voting information. As I mentioned, early voting, we predict that about 75% of voters this election will vote early, and we're seeing that already in the lines this morning. The times are 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on weekdays. On weekends, you can vote from 8 a.m. I think to 3 p.m. Till 5 p.m. Excuse me. And so that is all here. And of course, there are 25 sites for early voting. You can vote at any of those. You do not have a specific precinct for early voting. And then on election day, of course, you have your specific precincts, and there's 196 of those. But we encourage you to vote early and get it out of the way. So the next, you will see an important item. This is the second to last item on the ballot. And so please go to the end of the ballot. Don't give up halfway through. If you wait in the line that long, don't get fatigued at the ballot. And so we ask you to get to the bottom of the ballot. The second to last is the school bond, and we ask you to vote yes. The last measure on the ballot is a 1/4-cent sales tax, which will fund the bond. And so we also ask that you vote yes on the 1/4-cent sales tax. That is the last item on the ballot. We would love for you to volunteer. We need early voting precincts workers. If you go to our website at smartschoolbond.com, you can sign up to do that. We have about 2-hour shifts. It's a lot of fun. You really feel the spirit of democracy when you're out there. So we ask that you do that. Please sign up. And then we also ask you to encourage your employees and your friends and those that you're in your neighborhood or your church to also consider voting. And we also ask that you give your employees some flexibility. If they need to vote, of course, everybody needs to vote. If they need to stand in a line, they may need a little flexibility. And so if you can provide that flexibility to them, we greatly appreciate that. We know that we're torn in a million different ways. If you've got kids at home for childcare, that you may need to take an extra half hour at your lunch break to be able to vote if you've got to pick your kids up after work. So we ask for you to do that. So that is the end of our slideshow, and I'm going to open the chat to see if there's any other questions.
Cecilia, while
yes.
we're waiting for questions, I do want to let everyone know that your chamber board approved supporting both the $300 million bond as well as the 1/4-cent local sales tax increase, which, as Cecilia said, will help fund the bond, right? Will help pay for it. So we absolutely support both. We encourage everyone to vote for both of these and hope that, as she said, you will help support your employees to be able to get out there and vote as well.
So happy to take questions. Frank and I are here for it. It sounds like everyone's just going to go vote yes.
Yes.
We'll take it. Cool.
Cecilia, I'm looking forward to volunteering tomorrow. I'll be at the old courthouse in downtown Greensboro from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come see me. I'd love to see you guys. We will be able to see one another in person. So, please come on out. We would love to have you. And you can vote at any of the 25 voting sites, right? It's only on election day that you have to go to your designated precinct.
And I'd like to mention, we had a rally and a march in High Point this morning where we actually marched to the polls. A couple of churches and the NAACP gathered together. And by the time we got there, which was about 8 o'clock, the line was already out the parking lot. So I was excited and motivated. I wanted to vote right then, but I had to get here to this meeting, so I'll have to go back.
Frank, I totally hear you. I passed that line that was starting to form at the old courthouse and got so excited because people are getting out. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's the perfect day to get out and vote.
Yeah.
Anyone have any? Go ahead, Cecilia. I'm sorry.
I was just saying thank you for having us. We're grateful to be here and hope that you'll all spread the word.
Thank you.
It's real easy. Vote smart, vote yes.
Well, thank you, Cecilia. Thank you, Frank. We appreciate both of you being with us today. Again, having the public school system, our Guilford County schools, be smart, right? I love that acronym. But we absolutely need to support reinventing our schools so that quality education can happen. That will support the growth that we need to see in our local economy, because we are part of the pipeline getting our students ready for future job opportunities, for future career pathways. So this all works together. And so we hope that you will support the $300 million bond and the 1/4-cent sales tax increase. All right, well, I am going to turn it over now to Tracy Myers, who is going to lead the rest of our coffee and conversation. Tracy.
Thank you, Deborah. Have a good day.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Cecilia.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you, Deborah, for hosting this morning. We are going to shift over. The last half of our coffee and conversation every time we meet is networking. So typically this would take place in person. And we miss everybody. We miss seeing your faces, but we are doing this virtually now, online. So we invite you, if you don't have your camera on, to turn it on if you'd like to speak. And we'll give folks an opportunity to share just maybe 30 seconds about your business, any updates that you want to give. You can let me know by either using the raise hand function or just shooting in the chat that you would like to speak. And we'll keep an eye on that as we go. While you're thinking about that, I'll remind you of a few things. Number one, we are doing the gift card to Deep Roots. It's a $25 gift card, so make sure you text PERK, P-E-R-K, to 55678, and we will get you entered in to win that. The second thing is, if you'd like to save the chat, make sure you do that prior to us getting off the call today. So if you go to the 3 dots in the chat, you can save it. There's some wonderful websites and links in the chat that are super helpful today. So we appreciate that. And then third, before we get going, Deborah did mention today is the big day for filming the Impact Leadership Conference. So last fall, we got together as an organization and talked about putting together a national level leadership conference in Greensboro. We know we do leadership well. We've got the Leadership Greensboro program that has been in place for many, many years. Several of the folks on here have been part of that. And we know with other voices, with the BB&T Leadership Institute, that's now the Truist Leadership Institute, with the Center for Creative Leadership, Greensboro knows how to do leadership training. And we have a lot of folks who travel every year to go to national conferences. Why not bring them to the beautiful city of Greensboro and host that here? We chose the topic in the fall of last year of change and disruption. Who knew how relevant that was going to be by this fall? So wonderful topic, very relevant. We have 4 amazing speakers we're recording today. For more information on the conference, you can go to impactgso.com, and that is in the link. The tickets are on sale now. So we're filming today. It will air for the first time Thursday and Friday of next week, but you'll also have the opportunity to watch that and to have that access going forward from that point forward. So we would love to have you join us or have colleagues join us. We do have on this call, I see Cameron's on here. Novant is our education sponsor. And just want to point them out. It's a great topic that ties in very well to today. Novant sponsorship underwrites educators across Guilford County schools, Greensboro Day, Greensboro Montessori, several local schools. Educators will be able to participate in this conference for free due to the underwriting from Novant Health. So we appreciate that and want to mention that. So let's get started. I know we have a few folks who are already ready to go. Some of our tried and true folks who always help us out with networking. Kim, I see you. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hi, my name is Kim Simon, and I am with Carter Bank and Trust. I have my colleague here, Bob Calicut. Bob just joined us. I'll just let him say a few words about himself.
Good morning. My name is Bob Calicut. I'm actually very excited to be back in Guilford County. I am serving as the new branch manager for Carter Bank and Trust here at Adams Farm. I was previously, several years ago, the branch manager for Carolina Bank out on Wendover Avenue for 10 years. and have served the past 4 years at a bank way over in Lexington for the past 4.5 years. So I'm very, very excited to be back in Guilford County, and I'm looking forward to hopefully one of these days meeting each and every one of you face to face. Please feel free to give us a call at Carter Bank and Trust. We would love to be of help to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's great to meet you. Kim, thanks for bringing a guest.
You're welcome.
Awesome. James Rosa.
Good morning,
I see you
everyone.
on here. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is James Rosa Jr. I am the co-founder and executive director of Rosa Foundation, and we are a nonprofit organization here in Greensboro that loves to help the community in different ways. We don't focus on one thing. We see where the need is, and we go for it right there. We are having a scholarship and award ceremony on November 14th. We are looking for sponsorship for the scholarship. We're giving out a $1,000 scholarship for the performing arts. So if you know anyone that's looking to receive a scholarship, and I'll put my website, they can go on the website and apply for the scholarship. And we also giving out 4 awards to men in our community that are making positive changes. And I'm also excited to, I'll be receiving, I was nominated to receive an award at the Volunteer Center of the Triad on November 5th. I'm excited about that as well. And thank you, everybody.
Excellent. Thank you, James. Carly, I don't know if you've raised your hand, but I'm going to call on you anyway because it's a great link from James over to the Volunteer Center. So you want to share some things about Volunteer Center? I heard
Absolutely.
a rumor yesterday about next year's event
Oh.
location, but maybe that's not public yet. So
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be here and learn more about our bond with Cecilia and Frank. Thank you both for that. I'm the executive director of the Volunteer Center of the Triad. We are all things volunteerism for the community, working with nonprofits, individuals, churches, companies, and organizations. We do have an event coming up. We are partnering with the Guilford Nonprofit Consortium to recognize volunteers, nonprofits, and COVID heroes that have gone above and beyond in this time of whatever you want to call it. And James Rosa is one of our nominees. I see Eric Chilton on here. He is our fabulous videographer for the event. I see Heavenly Walker. She's the chair for the event. Stephanie Rivers might be on here too. She's on the committee. So it's really going to be a great opportunity to engage with our community. Tune in November 5th, 6:30 to 8 p.m. to learn more about how you can celebrate all the amazing people in our community.
thank you, Carly. You guys are incredible this morning. You're flowing from person to person. So Eric already had his hand up. So that's a perfect segue over to Eric Chilton. Hey, good morning.
Hello. Thanks, Tracy. Hi, Carly. I didn't know you were going to be in here today. So just a quick message for you guys. First of all, this is my first one, so thanks for having me here. I'm not used to doing this. Heavenly, I see down there, who was instrumental in getting me involved in the chamber and my company. So most of you know me in a different capacity at WFMY News too, but my company that I own is called Broadcast to Go. So I just wanted to introduce my company to you guys so you know what we do in case anybody has needs like this. We've been around for about 6 years, but back at the very beginning, with me working in media for 30 plus years, I just dated myself. We have, for 10 years, that makes me feel better. We know that the way media is progressing, and I'm sure if Deborah were in here, she'd chime in on this as well, which she used to work in media for decades as well, that where everybody is reached is here, right? This is where we all live, and cell phones and tablets, and pretty soon you'll just have a big PC type computer that runs your household, and you'll consume video and media that way. So I started this company about 6 years ago with the idea of focusing on live streaming, which now, as we all are doing with Zoom, is not a big deal. People understand it. Back then, I was doing some hard sales pitches, falling on deaf ears for like mid-size and smaller companies, but the corporate got it. And then now it's just branched out. And since the pandemic, we are swamped. Now, we do standard video production, anything you need. but we specialize in digital video and live streaming with multiple cameras. So for Carly and the Volunteer Center and the consortium, we're basically doing a live event with multiple cameras and graphics and music. We do it for the Brian series. So if you want to stream an event and kind of have it be interactive marketing, we can do all of that for you. And we're much less expensive than agencies, but technology is really just blown up. So reach out to us for any videography needs, but more importantly, that interactive live event type thing and fundraising capabilities. We're doing a lot for nonprofits now. I'll shut up.
Thank you, Eric. We're looking forward to doing some work together in the future. I know Action Greensboro has reached out. I think you're doing some things for those folks. So we're getting started with that, but it's so fun to work with you in a different way. So we're enjoying that. Tracy Stoll, one of our ambassadors, is on the call and would like to share some information about our Leads group. Oh, you're muted.
I do that every time. I'm sorry. I'm Tracy Stoll. I'm with Confident Choices Realty Group. We're an affiliate of Fathom Realty. And I am also the president of Leads Group 1. We meet on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month. Right now we're meeting virtually at a Zoom meeting. We just moved our meeting back to 8:30 in the morning. So if you'd like to be invited to come, I put my email in the chat. Send me an email and I will make sure you get an invitation for our next meeting, which is on the 28th.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy. Apple Rock. We have someone on from Apple Rock who'd like to share as well.
Good morning, Catherine Middlestadt with Apple Rock. This is my first participation, so thank you. I'm learning a lot. Wonderful to hear about the bond. Thank you for the organizers and thank you for everybody that does so much in the volunteer world that helps our community. We're Apple Rock. We've been around 32 years. We actually stayed open as an essential business. We're design fabricators. And we're out by the airport, kind of in that little shut-off area as Bryan Boulevard got closed down. We're up the hill, right near the Leadership Institute for Truist. We're thrilled to be part of the community. And so what we do is we help design and fabricate what people need traditionally. You know, us as trade show events and anything that would be in person, face-to-face, which of course went away and evaporated. But we took our designers, engineers, and fabricators, and with our great team, we've been producing PPE. So that's what's kept our doors open in the community and keeping our employees here at work, which has been fantastic. So thanks to all the people that have helped support us in that effort.
Thank you. Eric, we've got a request that you put your info in the chat. So if you'll stick that in there. Heavenly Walker's on. She is our specialist for new membership, works with a lot of our existing members. Heavenly, would you say a few things about networking, about membership? We've got a lot of guests on the call today, which is wonderful.
Sure. Thank you, Tracy. As you all can see, well, my name is Heavenly Walker, Member Engagement Specialist with the Greensboro Chamber. And as you all can see, we've done a great job, I believe, in still providing the networking that our members are looking for. This coffee and conversation event, for one, is something that I totally enjoy when we are able to be in person, because so many cool connections are made, and you also walk away learning something new about our community. But as far as the membership goes, I mean, our chamber has been here to be an extension of your staff. We are here to help you connect with resources and connect with one another. We work hard to do to facilitate introductions between members and through other organizations in the community. So if you want more information about the chamber membership and just the benefits and services, feel free to reach out to me. I will stick my email address in the chat and my phone number, and I would love to talk to you more. And part of that conversation is going to be learning a little bit more about your business and what you do and what your goals are. So we definitely want to make sure that every membership is not a one size fits all. It's all going to be based on what your needs are, and we're going to be here to help you make those things happen. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome. Thank you, Heavenly. Last call. If anybody wants to share just a little bit about your company, now's your chance. If you can use the raise hand function or shoot us a message in the chat. We will reach out about the winner of the gift card. So you'll get info from us if you've won that one. It's been a pleasure having you guys on here. Stephanie has placed the chamber networking opportunities in the chat. So that'll give you the full calendar of events. We look forward to seeing you all soon, whether it be virtually or eventually when we're all back together. Thank you for joining us this morning. See you soon.